have always been fond of turtles. Slow, stubborn and solitary, we have much in common. Whenever I have time, I like to head down to Benjasiri Park to spend time with these charming creatures. To get there, I have to travel on the BTS SkyTrain from my home in Punawiti to Phrom Phong Station, which is located right in the centre of Bangkok. At the entrance to the park is a large fountain, and whenever I come here, I like to arrive at noon to watch the midday fountain display. Every day a ballerina comes here to dance, and I think she looks very graceful as she leaps through the water's spray. After the display ends, I like to head inside in search of turtles. Benchasiri is a very small park, and a visitor could walk around all of it in about 15 minutes. In fact, that's what I usually do. But this time I'd like to slow down a bit and pay more attention to what the park has to offer. I thought it would be good to spend some time taking photos here in the park to get to know the place better. For me, I think the key to taking nice photos is all about understanding the small details of a place very well, knowing who goes there, how people behave in certain spaces, and figuring out how people will react to being photographed. And then it's all a matter of finding nice angles and perspectives, which to me look beautiful. That little building over there is a good place to get some shade, and since part of the structure juts out into the water, it's a nice place to sit down, relax, enjoy a nice view overlooking the park, and occasionally look down into the pond in search of sea monsters. If you wait long enough, the sea monsters will appear, but if you don't have anything delicious to offer them, they won't hang around. If you're keen, as I am, to get a closer look at the turtles, first you'll need to put on your straw hat and then head back the way you came. Although it's hard to see because of the murky water, the pond here is teeming with aquatic life, including various kinds of fish and turtles. To see them up close, you'll have to walk to the other side of the park. If you stand near the water's edge, the turtles will appear. Since people come to feed them often, they've come to associate a looming human presence with the promise of food, and will stop by to see what's on offer, and in my case, leave feeling disappointed. However, other visitors are much more generous, and will often bring snacks with them to share with the animals. Sometimes it's hard to photograph turtles here, because they are surrounded by murky pond water. But if you wait a while, you'll likely see someone picking them out of the water for one reason or another. Confused, I asked this woman why she was taking them out of the water, and she responded "mai sabai," which means unwell. I don't know how she knows that, but if you look closely you can see that their shells are cracked and dented. I didn't want to photograph sick turtles, so I photographed this one instead. Another creature hoping to be fed is the pigeon, but feeding them can land you with a hefty fee. The maximum fine is 27,000 baht. It means that if you do feel like feeding pigeons in Bangkok, it actually works out a bit cheaper to take them to a nice meal at a Michelin star restaurant. One feature of Thailand that I'm sure I will never tire of is the way that the intense light creates amazing reflections of any buildings that are located near water. The water you can see here is, in reality, almost entirely brown, and yet the sunlight infuses it with so much colour and twists the buildings into such beautiful shapes. This means that when photographing the aquatic life here, you can use as a background the colours and patterns created by the reflections of the many tall buildings that surround the park. Benjasiri is also notable for its many sculptures, of which there are far too many to show here. Some of them are quite lovely, others might actually be climbing frames. My favourite sculpture in the park is this one of a twisted high-rise. The plaque on it reads, "Surreal vision of the city, crossed destinies, doors and windows open to the horizon to foster dreams and free thinking." If If taking abstract photographs of contemporary sculpture is not your thing, there are plenty of other activities for you to do here instead, such as use the outdoor gym area. There's also a skate park, a running track, and courts for basketball and other games. For now though, I'd like to focus on the much more challenging activity of photographing butterflies. Behind me is a pyramid which is surrounded by a little maze of hedges. It's a fun place for people watching. Often you'll see kids chasing after each other, parents running away from their responsibilities, and sometimes you'll see just a small girl taking her pet turtle for a walk. The second best time to visit Benjasiri, in my opinion, is in the late afternoon when the sunlight casts long shadows on the ground. It's a great time for taking selfies and for scaring small children. I'm well aware that during this short stroll through Benjasiri Park, I've not taken nearly enough photos, but each of these little videos of mine helps me to understand this city a bit better, which will, I hope, lead me to a point where I am able to take better photos of Bangkok in the future, which is all I aim to do.